Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's honeymoon was anything but ordinary. Just days after their wedding, the newlyweds disappeared from the spotlight, only for reports of secret destinations, luxury hideaways, and unexpected stops to begin surfacing. But what really happened during their trip is where the story gets interesting. Let me break it down. The wedding ended around 4 a.m. Then Swift and Kelce just disappeared. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got married in the middle of New York City at MSG, but managed to keep things very private, with pictures of the couple on their big day not leaking and them staying extremely under the radar since saying "I do." No wedding photos, no honeymoon announcement, just a black hole where the biggest celebrity story of the year should have been. Then 6 days later, they resurfaced. Taylor and Travis were seen disembarking their plane in Burbank, California, where they were completely covered by at least a half dozen black umbrellas. 6 umbrellas for 2 people. That's not privacy, that's a military operation. The Daily Mail broke the story that they'd been coming from somewhere nobody expected. Not Paris, not the Bahamas, not some overwater villa in Bora Bora, Montana. The newlyweds were photographed hiding under multiple black umbrellas as they got off a private jet in Burbank, California, and were reportedly returning from the ultra-luxury Yellowstone Club in Big Sky, Montana, for a little getaway immediately following their July 3 nuptials. The Yellowstone Club isn't a resort you book online. The exclusive private community has long attracted high-profile members, with Bill Gates, Tom Brady, and Mark Zuckerberg among those linked to the resort, and membership reportedly requires buying property within the community, along with a substantial joining fee and annual dues. 15,000 acres of mountain, ski runs, golf courses, and absolutely no paparazzi. The club spans 15,200 acres and includes skiing, golfing, and other outdoor activities for its members, which include Ben Affleck, Justin Timberlake, Jessica Biel, and Bill Gates. And here's the thing, they'd done this before. This wasn't some random pick off a map. Their choice continues a quiet tradition that has become part of their relationship over the past 2 years, with Swift and Kelce reportedly visiting the Yellowstone Club several times, and each visit sharing one important factor. The couple have managed to stay completely out of sight. Despite multiple reported trips, not a single photograph of the pair inside the property has surfaced publicly. Last year, before any of this, before the ring, before the wedding, Swift skipped her own family tradition to be there instead. The members-only club might have special meaning to the couple, since Swift and Kelce reportedly spent last 4th of July at the club, with Swift opting out of her traditional celebrations in Rhode Island. So when the wedding ended and the world expected some grand European getaway, the couple went back to the one place where nobody could find them. But getting there wasn't simple. This wasn't book a flight land. Relax. Apparently, Tay and Trav used decoy private jets to keep the mini-moon location a secret, which clearly worked well. Multiple aircraft, different routes. The Daily Mail reported that the couple went to extraordinary lengths to protect their privacy. Their travel involved different planes and airports, and Swift's private jet was used elsewhere before eventually making its way to Montana. Think about the logistics for a second. You're arguably the most photographed woman alive, married to one of the most recognized athletes in the country, and you're running a decoy operation with your own private jets just to get to a mountain resort undetected. That's the level of scrutiny these two are operating under, even on their honeymoon. And they weren't entirely alone up there either. Entertainment Weekly reported that Swift and Kelce were reportedly spotted in Montana, with Jason Kelce and Kylie Kelce before later arriving in Southern California. Travis's brother and his wife tagging along for at least part of the trip. Not exactly the image of a couple running off completely alone to consummate a marriage. This was something closer to a family retreat, tucked inside a bigger, longer plan. Because here's the twist nobody saw coming. Montana wasn't the honeymoon. It was the appetizer. Every outlet covering this story used the same phrase over and over, mini-moon. Not honeymoon, a mini version, a preview. The trip was described as a short mini-moon rather than a long honeymoon. Why would 2 people who just spent a fortune on a wedding settle for a mini version of the trip that's supposed to be the whole point? The answer has to do with a calendar problem nobody could avoid. Travis Kelce's job doesn't pause for love. Per NBC Sports, the Kansas City Chiefs will open camp on July 24, and they will hold their first practice open to fans on July 29. That's a hard deadline. No amount of money or fame moves an NFL training camp schedule. So whatever plans this couple had, they had to be built around football. And wedged right in the middle of that tight window was somebody else's big day. The couple are believed to be taking a brief break from their honeymoon. to attend the wedding of Travis's close friend and former Kansas City Chiefs teammate Juju Smith-Schuster, who is set to marry fitness influencer Laura Crook at the Ritz-Carlton, Laguna Niguel, on Saturday. This wasn't some random acquaintance's wedding. They were obligated to show up to out of politeness. Smith-Schuster and Kelce used to play together for the Kansas City Chiefs and have remained close friends ever since. Skipping it wasn't really an option. So Swift and Kelce did something most newlyweds never have to do. They paused their own honeymoon mid-trip to fly across the country and be guests at somebody else's wedding. For a while, nobody was even sure that's what was happening. Early reporting suggested the couple might skip any kind of pre-wedding getaway entirely. TMZ reported that Swift and Kelce would attend Giants wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster's wedding to Laura Crook on July 11 at the Ritz-Carlton, Laguna Niguel in Orange County, California, with a source saying there's a week between Taylor and Travis's wedding and Juju's, but the couple has no plans for a mini honeymoon before they head out to California. Then Montana happened anyway. Whether it was a last-minute decision or the plan all along, the couple found a way to squeeze in days of total isolation before boarding another plane for California. This time, not to hide, but to celebrate with people who mattered to them. Guests started confirming the same details everywhere. In addition to Swift and Kelce, several NFL stars are set to attend, including Patrick and Brittany Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco, Kendrick Bourne, George Karlaftis, Tyquan Thornton, and Jacob Tuioti Mariner. It was basically a Chiefs family reunion dressed up in black tie, with the newest married couple in America walking in fresh off a secret mountain escape. And once that reunion wrapped, the real question kicked back in. Because California was never the destination. It was a layover. Once the California celebrations are over, Taylor and Travis are expected to continue the main leg of their honeymoon, with reports suggesting the couple are planning a romantic island-hopping adventure through Greece, before traveling to other destinations across Europe. That's when the story stopped being about hiding in the mountains and turned into something almost absurd in scale, a trip that reads less like a honeymoon itinerary and more like a world tour. Once the Montana trip leaked and the Juju Smith-Schuster wedding wrapped, the reporting shifted into a completely different gear. This wasn't going to be a week at a beach resort. Sources close to the couple started describing something that sounded more like a global expedition than a honeymoon. The U.S. Sun first broke the itinerary, and it read like a bucket list built by someone with unlimited money and unlimited time. Swift and Kelce will reportedly begin their honeymoon in the Bahamas, which is considered a favorite spot of theirs. That part wasn't a surprise. The Bahamas had come up before as a place they'd retreated to during their relationship. Ellie noted that previous trips later became public through photos or reports, including vacations in the Bahamas, Italy, and Montana. But the Bahamas was just the opening stop. From there, the plan gets genuinely enormous. After soaking in the sun in the Bahamas, a European trip is reportedly in the cards for the newlyweds, with time spent on the Italian coast and at Lake Como, which is a region they are particularly fond of. Then Paris, then the French Riviera, then something genuinely personal, a stop connected to Travis's own family history. Swift and Kelce will then reportedly head to Paris for a few days, then travel to the French Riviera, and then to Croatia, where they are excited to explore the Croatian countryside to reconnect with Kelce's ancestral roots, with Travis's brother Jason reportedly discovering that the family has Croatian roots on their mother's side, as Donna Kelce had Croat parents. A source close to the couple put it simply, Taylor already loves that part of the world, having visited before, and Travis is excited to take her there as part of this journey, the source said. And it doesn't stop in Europe. The outlet reported that after Croatia, the couple will spend time on a private island in Greece, with plans to go sailing while enjoying some culinary delights. Then the trip keeps going east, way east. What's essentially a worldwide tour for Kelce and Swift is expected to continue in Singapore, with the honeymoon reportedly continuing east from there, heading to Australia, with plans to explore the Fiji Islands before wrapping up the whistle-stop tour in Hawaii, before Kelce has to show up in camp with the Chiefs for the 2026 season. 7 countries, 3 continents, Bahamas, Italy, France, Croatia, Greece, Singapore, Australia, Fiji, Hawaii. Depending on which stop you're counting, that's 9 distinct locations, for a trip that has to somehow fit before an NFL training camp opens. A source described the whole thing to the outlet in terms that sound almost too big to be real. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience where they can just be themselves, enjoy the time together before going back to work. A source told the U.S. Sun. They are really looking forward to it. And there was one more detail buried in the reporting that explains why. Nobody's gotten a single confirmed photo since Montana. The couple reportedly wants total silence for the whole thing. They have been planning this for weeks and have already informed friends and family that they will be off the grid during this time. The insider shared, adding, unless there is an emergency, they want to limit outside contact to truly immerse themselves in this once-in-a-lifetime experience before Travis returns to the football field. Off the grid. No phones, no check-ins, nothing except whatever leaks out through hired staff or resort employees who can't help but talk. Here's where the story takes a genuinely strange turn. A rumored stop with a history attached that nobody could have scripted better. Before the Bahamas to Fiji itinerary solidified, there was chatter about a completely different opening stop, a ranch in Montecito, California, with a name that immediately raised eyebrows among longtime Swift followers. Taylor and Travis are keeping their honeymoon plans private, with rumors suggesting they may start off at San Isidro Ranch in Montecito, a property with historical ties to Swift's ex-boyfriend, Connor Kennedy. Connor Kennedy dated Swift back in 2012 when she was still in her early 20s. Now, over a decade later, the resort tied to his family was reportedly in the mix for her honeymoon with a completely different man. And the family connection runs deeper than just a shared last name. According to the insider, there have been some whispers about them starting off at San Isidro Ranch in Montecito. And as it turns out, Connor's great-uncle and aunt, John F. Kennedy and Jackie Kennedy, honeymooned at the resort in 1953. A former president and his new wife walking those same grounds more than 70 years earlier. If Swift and Kelce had actually opened their honeymoon there, they'd have been stepping into a piece of American history that also happened to loop back to Swift's own dating past. The price tag alone tells you what kind of property this is. If Swift and Kelce decide to honeymoon at the luxury property, there's the option to rent out the entire property. The insider noted, with renting the ranch able to cost upwards of $500,000 for a week. But with Swift's billionaire status, privacy is easily attainable. $500,000 just for a week, just to guarantee nobody else is on the property. For most people, that's an entire year's salary. For this couple, it's the cost of guaranteed silence. Whether they actually opened there or the reported Bahamas' first itinerary one, the ranch chatter says something bigger about what this honeymoon has become. A story where every rumored stop carries its own weight, its own history, its own reason reporters can't stop digging. And while all this was unfolding, a completely separate storm was brewing online, one that had nothing to do with actual reporting, and everything to do with how fast a rumor can travel. Once Swift and Kelce's names are attached to it, accounts on social media began circulating a claim that the couple's honeymoon had landed somewhere entirely different, a politically charged location the couple never visited. According to a fact check published on the matter, social media accounts wrongly claimed that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were honeymooning in Israel, with the claim garnering 54.8 million views on X alone. 54 million views for a location that had zero connection to any actual reporting. That's the temperature this story runs at. When a couple this famous goes dark, the internet fills the silence with whatever story spreads fastest, true or not. Even the wedding itself, the event that started all of this, carried its own layer of spectacle that fed straight into the honeymoon frenzy. Kelce and Swift celebrated their new marriage in front of 1,000 guests at Madison Square Garden, where some attendees went home with luxury gifts like a $7,000 Chanel purse or a 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle, guests walking away with vintage cars as party favors. That's the baseline of excess this couple was already operating at before a single honeymoon flight took off. And through it all, one family member offered the only real on-record reaction anyone's gotten. Jason Kelce, fresh off his own trip to Montana with the newlyweds, was asked about the wedding while out in Lake Tahoe. Jason and Kylie Kelce later spoke briefly about the wedding while in Lake Tahoe, with Entertainment Weekly citing reports that Jason called the celebration great, while Kylie described it as incredible. 2 words. That's all the public's gotten directly from anyone inside the family. Everything else has come from unnamed sources, resort staff, and paparazzi with long lenses and even longer patience. So where does that leave things now? a couple that got married in front of 1,000 people at one of the most famous arenas on Earth, then spent the following weeks doing everything humanly possible to become invisible. The umbrellas in Burbank, the decoy jets, the unnamed sources feeding out details one paragraph at a time, because nobody official is confirming anything. Swift and Kelce have not issued a statement about their honeymoon plans. Not about Montana, not about the Bahamas, not about Croatia or Fiji or Hawaii. Every single detail the public has gotten has come secondhand, filtered through insiders, hotel staff, and outlets piecing together fragments. What we do know is built on a pattern this couple has followed since the very beginning of their relationship, since their relationship became public in 2023. The couple has squeezed romance into tour schedules, football obligations, and rare breaks from two of the most demanding careers in entertainment and sports. The honeymoon isn't any different. It's just the biggest version yet of a life they've been living, in stolen moments between stadiums and stages for 3 years straight, and that clock is already ticking again. Kelce is scheduled to report to Kansas City Chiefs training camp on July 29. Whatever's left of the Bahamas to Hawaii itinerary, whatever private islands or ancestral villages or Riviera dinners still remain, all of it has to wrap before Travis is back in pads, running routes in Missouri heat, answering questions from reporters about a wedding and a honeymoon. He almost certainly won't confirm details of on the record. For Swift, there's no hard deadline waiting the same way. No training camp, no snap count. But the pattern suggests she'll be back in some form of public view soon enough too, whether that's a surprise release, a new tour rumor, or simply the next paparazzi photo that leaks, despite every decoy jet and black umbrella deployed to stop it. What's clear is that this wasn't a honeymoon that followed any normal script. It started in a mountain resort nobody expected, got interrupted by a friend's wedding in California, and stretched out into an itinerary spanning 9 locations across 4 regions of the globe, all while the two people at the center of it tried, and mostly failed, to keep any of it quiet. The last confirmed sighting is still those umbrellas in Burbank. Everything past that point exists only in the reports of insiders and the imaginations of millions of fans scattered across the internet, refreshing their feeds for the next photo, the next location leak, the next sign that somewhere out there in the Bahamas or Lake Como or the Croatian countryside, two of the most famous people on the planet are, for a few stolen weeks, actually getting to just be